Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. This proceeding is being broadcast on Channel 35. The exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35. Board of Water and Power Commissioners, please say present for roll call. Commissioner KATZ.
Present.
Commissioner LEHRER.
Present.
President McCLAIN-HILL.
Present.
Commissioner McCraw. Vice President NEEMAN BRADY. 3 board members. A quorum is present. Madam President.
Thank you. And as many of you know, today I have the distinct honor of giving my last opening statement as your board president. I am pleased to see members of the public joining our board meeting this morning. Among our guests, I also see members of our dedicated field staff who work so diligently day in and day out to provide clean water and reliable electricity during normal times and in response to emergencies to the more than 4 million residential and business customers served by the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. In addition, I see many of the talented professionals, senior leaders guiding progress and charting the future at LADWP, who implement the forward-looking policies formulated and approved by our board. Thank you for being in attendance this morning. It has been my distinct honor, privilege, and pleasure to serve as your member of the Los Angeles Board of Water and Power Commissioners. And here are a few reasons why. I'm proud of the good governance reforms that will change how your department operates over the long haul to keep it from being used and abused by those who would seek to exploit it for their own unlawful and scandalous personal ends and financial benefits to the detriment of the needs of the people of the City of Los Angeles. Furthermore, I'm proud of the forward-looking public policy initiatives that have been accomplished during my tenure as board president, including the adoption of the strongest customer protections related to utility service access in this nation, securing and distributing hundreds of millions of dollars in utility debt relief to our most financially vulnerable customers, and the launch of programs to help individual residents and working families withstand conditions of extreme heat made worse by climate change. Through my leadership efforts, our department has become an active participant in fortifying Mayor Karen Bass's efforts to accelerate the development of low-income, affordable housing and shelters for the in-house people of the city through Project Powerhouse. Our Project Powerhouse initiative has spurred our board to address other longstanding policy issues related to new residential and commercial development projects citywide. I'm immensely proud to have championed the LA 100 Renewable Energy Study, which provides our department with a comprehensive roadmap for our city's plan to generate 100% of its electric power from clean, renewable energy sources. But our city's clean energy future will not be successfully attained if it perpetuates long-standing inequities and worsens social stratification among our customers segregated by the haves and have-nots. That's why I'm gratified by our department's recent release of the LA 100 Equity Strategies, a study that serves as our department's blueprint for advancing its role in our city's clean energy decarbonization efforts in a manner that will leave no community behind and enable every community to feel the full benefits of our clean energy future. Based in part on recommendations contained in our groundbreaking community stakeholder-informed and labor-endorsed study, our department recently announced it would design and launch a major EV fast charger infrastructure build-out in our city's underserved communities to connect working families with the accessible and reliable EV charging capacity they will need in coming years as EV adoption across our city grows. The establishment of our department's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, undertaken pursuant to Mayor Eric Garcetti's executive directive on racial equity following the murder of George Floyd, is yet another impactful advancement to promote opportunity and fairness across the board within our department, so LADWP better reflects the millions of customers it serves. I'm proud we accomplished that important initiative during my tenure. It should also be said that I am particularly proud of the continued work with this department and its labor partner, IBW, around workforce development and in particular the UPTC program. Finally, our department's Women's Council, which was founded by me and co-chaired by LADWP Retirement Board President Latanya Bogan-Jordan, sharpened our department's focus on the unique and significant support needed by women working for our nation's largest municipal utility. This accomplishment on behalf of our women on the front line in labor and in our department's professional ranks shall remain one of my proudest achievements. I hope the LADWP's Women's Council will remain a lasting and beneficial legacy of my volunteer service to this department and the city of LA. I wish to thank you all for affording me the opportunity to work closely in partnership with you. As an appointed public servant on behalf of our mayor's administration to deliver valued public policy programs and essential services that benefit the people of the city of Los Angeles and support the 4 million residential and business customers of the Department of Water and Power. And I appreciate your allowing me to make such extended remarks this morning. With that, we will move to public comment.
Public comment is open at this time. Good morning, speakers. Please be mindful that you will have 2 minutes to address the board. The first speaker is Sam Williams, who will be followed by Addie Miller. The next will be Lauren Akam. And after that, Augustine Cabrera. We have a total of 16 public commenters. Sam Williams.
Good morning. I have emailed this commission and some of you in attendance about being called a monkey, nigger, and Hitler by current and former LADWP employees. I have also been told by Andrew Kendall, Assistant General Manager, that LADWP stands for Los Angeles Department of White People. Quit complaining or I wouldn't make supervisor, only to be wrongfully terminated for speaking up against black and racist agendas going on inside LADWP. I was called a monkey by employee John Budrecki, a current supervisor, Hitler by former ESM Bernard Rogers, and they never investigated these complaints and still illegally terminated me. Also, fuck IBEW Local 18, Gus Corona, Martin Marufo, James Griggs, Ed Lee, and the rest of them that stood up for this racist ass shit that went on. I want my compensation for my 3 accepted workers' compensation claims that are now almost 3 years old, or I will start knocking at home residences asking for my money. Give up that $100 to a homeless person and they'll knock on your door. Don't make me come do this shit again, motherfucker. Fuck IBEW Local 18. Become an A member. If you black, get prepaid leave. Fuck IBEW Local 18.
Addie Miller, please approach.
I'm sorry, the next speaker. This is public comment, and this is a democracy. And I'm advised by the city attorney's office that all public comment that is not a direct threat is welcome. So with that, we will move forward.
Good morning,
Morning.
Madam President of the Commissioners of Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and all other commissioners, fellow commissioners. My name is Addie Miller, and I'm here because I have a complaint. And it's a complaint that I believe that needs thorough, in-depth investigation. The problem is my utility bill is now $400 to $500 a month. That's November and December. Utility power bill have increased extremely, and no changes or added sources of power were added to my apartment. My apartment is a studio apartment, approximately only 450 square feet. So, to solve, I need an in-depth investigation for the extreme increase of my LADWP power bill that I receive monthly. Refund for payments for November 2023, December 2023. Adjustment for my monthly LADWP power bill to reflect the previous monthly LADWP power bill to July to December. That was $30 and $40. I am a senior citizen, I'm disabled, I have limited income, and I cannot afford no $400 to $500 monthly power bill. I have not changed the use of the electricity, and it has remained the same. But my monthly LAWP power bill has changed extremely. Please investigate this matter thoroughly. I would like a written response to this letter, first class mailing, and I have my address and everything on here, and I have the 6-month attachment of the bills here. I just have one more thing to say. I've been on a roller coaster. I called here, I called there, and they say Los Angeles is a municipality. Nobody gets in your, gets in your affairs. I called the state, I called the housing department, and nobody wants to. So what I had to do is send it here. I also sent a copy to the United States Health and Human Services Office of Civil Rights, U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division,
Excuse me,
American
Ms.
with
Miller, your
Disabilities
time has
Act, and Civil
expired.
Rights Division Office, Assistant Attorney General. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you would give a copy, if you have a copy of this document
have them.
to, you have them? Okay, terrific.
And the 6 months are in.
Okay, no, thank you so very much. And I know that there's someone here that represents our customer service department, and they will get back to you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so very much for being here.
The next speaker is Lauren Akam. Lauren Akam.
Thank you. Good morning. On behalf of the LA Alliance for a New Economy, we are here to thank Commission President Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL as our being a champion for making equity a reality for workers and customers, because without union jobs and without regular people in our community feeling the benefits of the transition to an equitable, clean energy future, it can't be real. She has been constantly pushing for benefits to come to the community and for residents to have access to good union jobs and climate benefits, such as protecting customers from shutoffs during extreme weather and for those with very low incomes, such as support for the utility pre-craft trainee program and for direct installation programs that bring water and energy efficiency to all households. As we work towards a just and clean energy and sustainable water future for the city of LA, we will continue to work to advance the equity and environmental justice principles and worker justice principles that Commission President McCLAIN-HILL has championed and keep them at the core of LADWP's work and mission. We thank her and will deeply miss her and her leadership, and I thank again for her commitment to justice, equity, the environment, and the working people of LADWP and the city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
The next speaker is Austine Cabrera. Austine will be followed by Tiffany Wong, Deborah Hong, Jason Cleanthus, and Peter Knutson.
Hello, Board of Commissioners. Good morning. I'm here to be really saddened by the news that Board President Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL this will be her last meeting. My name is Austine Ketta. I am the Policy Director at Strategic Concepts and Organizing and Policy Education. We're a grassroots building group in South LA. And we've had the pleasure of working with the department for the last 10 years, and specifically with the board president over the last couple of years. And we do this work because South LA residents are overburdened through shutoffs with high utility debt and don't have access to good energy efficient homes. But in the last year, over the last couple of years, board president has demonstrated her commitment to South LA residents, to frontline communities, with her, incredible initiatives of equity. And so we stand here to really thank her for the work that you've done over the last year, particularly in 2022, when Scope and the department worked on understanding what are the impacts of water shutoffs for low-income communities. There was a time where we felt like we weren't being heard. And we talked to Board President McCLAIN-HILL, and she knew that the information that was on that report, the stories that were being told in that report needed to be told, and something needed to be done. And so as a result of that, we now have, no shutoffs for low-income Lifeline residents and those during extreme weather patterns. So your work has demonstrated, and that legacy of your work will live on, and we will continue to show up here at the board to really continue to fight for equity, for good jobs, and for the people of South LA. So thank you again, Board President.
The next speaker is Tiffany Wong.
Hi, good morning, board. My name is Tiffany Wong. I'm with Scope, work with Austine. And also just reiterating, we share our deep appreciation for President Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL, for your leadership on this board and being a champion for South LA residents and for all Angelenos across the city. We thank you for listening to and working with frontline communities to deliver material benefits and really pursue transformative policy changes. And so this is including many of the things that Austine shared, over millions of dollars in utility debt relief for customers impacted by COVID-19. And now we have this transformative policy where over 200,000 low-income customers in LADWP are now permanently protected from water and power shutoffs. And now that all customers are protected during extreme heat and cold alerts. And this has also included the launch of the LA100 equity strategies to ensure that community voices are front and center in utility planning and ensuring that the priorities of affordability, public health, housing security, workforce development are really grounding the city's transition to clean energy. So all this to say to really elevate the work that you've done, and thank you again for being this champion and seeing all of these things realized at DWP. And we at Scope look forward to the opportunity to continue working with the board and with the department to solve the issues facing low-income communities and communities of color. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Deborah Hong.
Hello, good morning, Board of Commissioners. My name is Deborah Hong, and I'm the president of Aspire. Aspire was formed 2 years ago, and we are the first official employee resource group at the department. And I am here representing Aspire to thank you so much, Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL, for your support of equity initiatives. You have been a champion, and again, on behalf of Aspire, thank you so much for your support. Personally, I'd like to offer my personal appreciation for all the work that you have done in uplifting and championing voices, a diversity of voices, and for empowering women. You will be missed, and I wanted to offer my personal appreciation as well. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Jason Cleanthus, who will be followed by Peter Knudsen, Oribel Rositas, and Lorenzo Amaya.
Good morning, President McCLAIN-HILL, Commissioners, General Manager, and Department Senior Managers, and guests. For those of you that may not already know, my name is Jason Cleanthus. I'm a videographer for the Department of Water and Power, and I'm also the co-chair of the LADWP Pride Employee Resources Group. I want to thank everyone for coming here today to hear me speak. I know you're expecting a lot from me, but due to the turnout, I've been asked to keep my comments short. Today we gather to bid a farewell to our esteemed Board of Commission President, Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL, as she prepares to embark on her next chapter. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for her unwavering support and invaluable contributions to our department. Under Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL's leadership, our department has witnessed remarkable progress and inclusivity. She played an instrumental role in fostering an environment where diversity is celebrated, and today we proudly stand as a more inclusive workforce. One of the achievements close to my heart during your tenure has been the establishment of the department's first LGBTQIA Employees Resources Group, Pride. Cynthia McCLAIN-HILL championed this initiative, recognizing the importance of creating a safe and supportive space for our LGBTQIA employees and colleagues. And through her dedication, she has helped lay the foundation for a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace for generations to come. As she moves forward onto new horizons, her legacy of advocacy and commitment to fostering a culture of inclusivity will continue to inspire us. Cynthia, your vision, dedication, and tireless efforts have left an indelible mark on our department. And for that, we are proudly and profoundly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Peter Knudsen.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Peter Knudsen. I'm an instrument mechanic out of Scattergood Generating Station, as well as a shop steward for IBEW Local 18. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank and address Board President McCLAIN-HILL. I want to thank you for all of your involvement in the paid parental leave program. I'm sure you're aware this is a tremendous benefit that's been given to all of us here at the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. And speaking personally, my wife's 35 weeks pregnant. We're expecting our second child and son to be born in the middle of February. And knowing that this benefit is available to me has helped relieve some of the stress that comes with the addition of a new child to our family. So thank you for that. And similarly, this benefit's going to allow me to spend greater time at home with my wife and my daughter after the birth of my son, to reassure my daughter that I'm there for her. She will undoubtedly be jealous. And to give my wife some rest as she deals with all the changes that happen to her body post-pregnancy. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for that. And thank you on behalf of all of the members of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power.
The next speaker is Oribel Rositas.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Oribel Rositas. I am reading this on behalf of bereavement counselor Adrian Sanchez, who could not be here today due to a prior appointment. Thank you, President McCLAIN-HILL, and your support for establishing the bereavement counselor position. The Retirement Board first created the new position of bereavement counselor on April 26, 2021, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The bereavement counselor has continued since to provide enhanced and seamless service to plan members. When an active death is received, the bereavement counselor acts as a liaison between the different offices throughout the department and external entities. The bereavement counselor assists loved ones through the claims process, acting as a single point of contact instead of contacting several offices within the department. Grieving loved ones may contact the bereavement counselor directly to gather information or gain clarification. The retirement office has also established an advanced payment process for families that require immediate access to funds, meanwhile pending the claims process. The bereavement counselor personally guides families from beginning to end through this difficult time. To date, the bereavement counselor has assisted about 66 active families. In closing, thank you, President McCLAIN-HILL, for your support.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Lorenzo Amaya, who will be followed by Joanna Arroyo, John Pickering, and Bertha Galvan.
Good morning. As stated, my name is Lorenzo Amaya, and this year I will be completing 20 years of service with the department. In 2015, I realized, me and my wife realized we were going to have a baby. So it was a huge year for us. We did everything I'm sure most first-time parents do. We shopped for furniture, made baby shower lists, told all our family and friends, and most importantly, we started scheduling all of our doctor visits. I had no idea what that truly entailed. After scheduling all the visits, I was amazed at how many there were. Ultrasounds, OB/GYN, lab work, all kinds of tests, follow-up visits for the tests, and on and on. Sometimes several in a month. I originally told my wife that I wanted to be there at every step, but when I took account of how much time I would have to take off, I was disheartened to realize that there was no way I was able to be with her and still have bonding time after Ariel was born. So unfortunately, I had to make choices. My wife and I did our best to utilize as-due days and AOT, but it wasn't going to be enough. There was going to be some times that she would have to be alone. This became even more difficult as the baby grew during the pregnancy, as my wife had difficulty driving. Who knew, right? Which is something I never even considered. As a result, I sacrificed visits and was able to have 2 weeks bonding time at the end. I thought I was set, but life said, not so fast. My wife ended up having a C-section, so for 2 weeks, I was trying to tend to a healing wife and a newborn. When my 2 weeks ended, my wife was barely able to get around. Luckily, some family members were able to help out. It was incredibly disappointing that I had to leave their side. Thankfully, things worked out, and my wife healed, and my daughter is now 8 years old. But life again said, not so fast. We are pregnant again. The difference is this time around, because of the efforts of Lily Cavache, and I'm sure many others, I have something available to me that is so needed yet lacking in the workplace today. I'm able to take parental leave, paid parental leave. So yes, I'm going to every doctor appointment, and this time I'm able to take up 6 weeks of time to bond with my daughter and care for my wife. So I would like to thank you, President McCLAIN-HILL, for supporting the employees and being proactive to set the bar high for others to follow, and for making paid parental leave a reality. I understand that leading the way isn't easy, but I'm sure I speak for many others when I say it's about time. Thank you.
The next speaker is Joanna Arroyo.
Good morning, Madam President and board members. My name is Joanna Orozco. I currently work in financial services organizations in accounts payable for the Department of Water and Power. I am a single mother of a son named Christopher, and I would like to share my story and how I benefited from the lactation program. I returned to work 3 months after I had my son and was commuting to work from Fontana, California. I was informed of the lactation program through my supervisor at the time. When I contacted the lactation program coordinator, Trin Nguyen, in the Employee Health and Benefits Family Care Office, Trin was able to immediately grant me access and include me on the lactation schedule on my first day back to work. Some of the benefits of the lactation program included a private, secure, and clean room for me to express milk. I was able to and felt comfortable storing my son's milk in the refrigerator provided. The room was also, in the room, there was also provided a portable sink that I used to clean the bottles without having to leave the room. In addition, the lactation room provided supplies such as lactation teas and cookies and other important supplies that I used daily. I also received a new Medela pump kit, which I am extremely grateful for. Overall, having the lactation program in the department allowed me to have peace of mind knowing that the program provided a set schedule which allowed me to accomplish all of my daily work assignments as I transitioned back to work. I have met other moms in the department that did not have the same opportunities as me before the program existed, and I am blessed that me and my son are able to benefit from this great program. Being a single mom is the hardest job, and this program became part of my support system. President McCLAIN-HILL, thank you for everything that you have done for me and my son. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is John Pickering.
Good morning, board. And
Still morning.
Madam President and the board. My name is John Pickering. I'm a part of the UPCT program. I just got hired on last year, and I want to thank you for that because it took a while, but it finally came through. And I've heard, different rumors saying that we are accelerating the process in order to get more people in, especially people from the inner city, because we really don't know exactly how to get into the department. But now that I'm in, I see that there's plenty of room and ways to go in every direction. So I do want to thank you, ma'am, and I want to thank everyone that I've met in the process. John Smith, Miss Alicia Dickerson, missing Sean McLeod, but she's somewhere. I want to thank everybody because I've got to meet so many different people in so many different avenues, and I just have so many different opportunities available to me and other people that have come into class with me and before me. We even have some people here right now who have already gotten hired on, and once again, this is a big blessing for my family, a big blessing for my friends and their families, and hopefully we can get more people in so the blessings just keep on continuing. Thank you.
The next speaker is Bertha Galvan, who will be followed by Jacqueline Benjamin and Hannah Cooper.
Good morning, distinguished board members. I can't help but smile when I look at you and remembering everything that you have done for the department. But I would like to start by thanking you all first for the great privilege to stand here and acknowledge an amazing leader. I was honored to stand next to you and Gus Corona as we honored our fallen brothers and sisters during the department's memorial services. We acknowledged their dedication and sacrifice during the memorial and honored their families and their friends as we read their names. I will say that it's been an honor and privilege to have been through that experience with you, but it has definitely made it's an icon in my career to have stand next to you both and being able to acknowledge the amazing work and dedication of our following brothers and sisters. Ms. McCLAIN-HILL, what can I say about you? You have definitely strived to support and acknowledge all the women in the department. Your presence has definitely been available to all of us in different committees and community organizations, and you have definitely made an icon of yourself here with us. I stand before you as a woman that has strived within this organization and really admired all the work and dedication that you have put forth I will tell you today that as I continue in my career with the Department of Water and Power, I will definitely strive towards that vision that you have set forward. You have been an amazing icon and leader for all women and men in this department, and I speak for all of us when we say that you'll truly, truly be missed heartedly. Thank you.
The next speaker is Jacqueline Benjamin.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I am part of the UPCT program and Local 18, LADWP community partners. We want to thank you and all the UPCTs. There's a few of us here today. We want to thank you for everything that you have done, the support that you have given John and Sean. We want to, and a little bit about the program for me. When I first went into it, I didn't think that I was going to go in there to learn about electricity or anything like that. But I do have to say, going into the program have taught me some things people would be surprised. You know, it taught us about the doors being put up and the windows and different things like that. You learn those things in the little bit of training that you get when you first get there. You go home and you start looking at your windows, you start looking at your doors, and you start seeing things that are not right. You know, it's like, wow, they did not put this up right, you know? So the program is great. At first I was kind of shaky about it, but the program is great. I hope it can continue because it does teach a lot of things and it gives people opportunities to get into departments that they never thought they can get into. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Hannah Cooper, who will be followed by Sean McLeod.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah Cooper. I am an electrical mechanic here at LADWP. There aren't a lot of women who have my job. I was told I was the first woman hired in 10 years, and then I was the third woman ever to complete the electrical mechanic training program. So as you can imagine, it can often be an isolating experience, and it's been really significant and meaningful to me personally to have a board president who's cared so much about recruiting women into the trades and also retaining and supporting and mentoring the women who are already here. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Madam President Cynthia Hill, we just want to say thank you. Marty, Elsamo, all of the leadership, we have worked on a lot of the things that we've talked about, Aaron. We've all worked on it, but let me tell you, when she came on board, we had to have due dates, and it needs to be done. And if it's not right, she told us that we need to do it right. And by that, all of us have learned how to get things done. Let me tell you, we were working on having a women's fair for non-traditional. We have changed it to women in the trades now because we have put aside the non-traditional because it's traditional now at DWP. But we had water, power, and joint working together at Truesdale, and it was as big as the rodeo. And she kept saying, we got to have it big. And to see those kids coming to those different trucks and saying, hey, I can do it. That's a female. She looks like me. And I can do the same thing is a game changer. She's been helpful with the UPCT program, and all of you guys have been helpful there. But this is the first year as us all working together and having deadlines because she wanted to know the numbers. We thought we were working hard, and we were working hard, but she said you can do more. Also with the leadership conference, all of us coming together, management and labor coming together. And what she taught me is that we can work together and we can do a lot as we work together. We had our second annual leadership conference, and everybody walked away from the first one and the second one with something that they can do for themselves. She taught us to take care of ourselves. If you take care of yourself first, then you can help everybody else. And we hadn't had that before. I'm going to miss you. The community partner's going to miss you. You have all the members that are standing outside, in the room, downstairs, and in here. These are all local AT members, and that's why we have the signs and stuff here. So we love you, and we're going to miss you, and you rock.
The last speaker is Gus Corona.
Good morning, Madam President, McCLAIN-HILL, General Manager Marty Adams, and the rest of your staff. Cynthia, I hope you're feeling love. The lactation lounges, the Women's Council, the Women's Expo, the Women's Leadership Summit, paid parental leave, bereavement counselor, fallen workers memorial update, safety for overall for all the employees, and support for upgrading the aging infrastructure. And something we're still working on, employee support on children needs for working parents. Every conversation regarding these issues, you always asked why. Why can't the department do these things? And you understood that providing these things to employees gave them peace of mind and in turn made for better employees. You know that in order to make things, in order to fix things, you needed to understand how the department functioned. You became engaged with the inner workings of the department. You spoke to employees so that you would get a better understanding of the challenges they faced in getting their work done. You went as far as hanging down from a helicopter to experience what our transmission linemen do on a daily basis. You became engaged, and for that, we thank you. And when tragedy would befall an employee, you would either meet me or ride with me to the emergency rooms to ensure that the employee and their families were being taken care of. So thank you for that. When our brother Michael Mester lost his life a little over 2 years ago, you had the fallen worker memorial updated. Had it been done in years. And you organized a beautiful memorial service for Michael and all the employees that lost their lives on the job. And that meant so much to our members that somebody finally recognized our fallen members. You understood the importance of partnering with Local 18 in rebuilding its aging infrastructure, water and power, and the department's commitment that it would be done utilizing a unionized department workforce. The list of your accomplishments goes on. And I'm sorry that you're leaving us before we were finished, but I assure you that your legacy of accomplishments will outlive us all. On behalf of our Local 18 members, our staff and our officers, and especially from me, I thank you for all that you've done, and I wish you well.
We do have one public comment that was distributed to all commissioners. With that, public comment is now closed. Madam President.
Thank you all so very much. So we're going to take a brief recess, and I am going to visit our workforce downstairs. We'll resume in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Attention, we will resume momentarily. Please maintain silence in the audience and at the dais. We will resume momentarily. Thank you. Madam President, we're ready to resume. May I call roll?
Please.
Board of Water Power Commissioners, please say present. Commissioner KATZ?
Present.
Commissioner LEHRER?
Present.
President McCLAIN-HILL?
Present.
3 board members, a quorum is present. Madam President?
Okay, we'll move next to a report or briefing by our general manager.
Thank you, Madam President and board members. It's good morning still, not to echo one of our earlier speakers. Before I give just a couple brief items, I did want to recognize you and thank you so much for serving as our board president. You and I think I thought about the years both of us kind of knew in our roles, probably. I don't know which one came first, but and one of the first things we were facing was the pandemic and COVID. And I think of the many evenings and weekends on the phone about workforce and about, you know, the employee health and what we were doing, how we're dealing with vaccines and mandates and just, you know, all the things that we had to really discuss how to keep the department going and moving through that time. And I appreciate the partnership in working through those issues that were new to all of us and very difficult. And not to repeat all the things, the wonderful things the speaker said, which are all very true about the, you know, the contributions you've made, particularly, you know, championing family issues here and the issues for women in our workplace, which are still only 22% of our workforce, and something that we're hoping to grow and really provide more opportunities. You've really helped us to work on breaking down barriers for hiring, trying to speed up the process, and it's taking, and you see it taking effect in how we're growing as a department and increasing our numbers here. Certainly, you've guided the way to really help us embrace the communities we serve much better than we did before, being more responsive to our customers and really watching out for the ratepayers that really struggle the most and the ones that don't have a voice very often and that can be easily forgotten. So I think about it and I thought about, you know, the words that really sum up all the projects and things you've worked on, and it's, you know, it's compassion. Without a doubt, you've been so compassionate to all of our ratepayers in a level that's not normal in a public utility. And so it's something that's really opened our eyes and opened our hearts. You've been innovative and brought to us ideas for how to move things forward in ways that we didn't do before. And you've been very insightful and really helping us recognize the needs of the people that we serve. So thank you for the extreme amount of time and energy you put into the organization and your dedication to the staff here as well as us to our customers. So I just want to thank you for your years of service and let you know how important it was to me and the rest of the senior staff as well. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Are there any other, are there any comments or responses to the report of the general manager?
I two of the quick things if I could.
Oh, certainly.
On the mundane business part of things.
Certainly.
First, not mundane actually, is working with our department, our Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. We have 2 upcoming events that we're participating in. The first is a long-standing event, the 39th Annual Kingdom Day Parade. That's next Monday, the 15th. We've participated the last several years, and our DEI office has worked in coordination with our NSBE chapter. So we'll be walking in that parade again. We've had a couple of our trucks and stuff in the parade before. I'm going to find more comfortable shoes this year. I'm learning every year, but it is a fun event and something I hope we get the great participation. We've had a lot of participation in the past, and it's great to be out with the community celebrating Kingdom Day. And then also on February 17th, it'll be the first time that we sponsored the 125th historic Golden Dragon Parade in Chinatown. It'll be our first time we sponsored that, and we're doing that in coordination with Aspire. So if any employees are interested in taking part in either of those events and joining us, I'd welcome as many as we can. This is a show of support by the department for the communities that we serve and embracing and honoring the cultures that they represent. So we have those two events coming up. And the only other thing is I'd like to give a brief report on where we are with snow because it's becoming a newsworthy item, and just want to make sure that the board hears it firsthand from our expert here.
Good morning, commissioners. Yes, so from a water supply perspective, as you're probably seeing in the newspaper and media, we have not been getting a lot of precipitation. As a matter of fact, the Department of Water Resources conducted their first snow survey for the year. This was at their Phillips station, and all they were able to measure was 7.5 inches of snow. That equates to around 3 inches of water. Statewide, that means that we're approximately 25% of normal. Compared to last year, this same time, we were at 185% of normal. So we certainly have seen the climate whiplash that you've heard about so much. We're starting to see it again. It is still early in the season, but still, we're a little concerned, so we're keeping an eye on it. The Department of Water and Power will be conducting its own survey of the Eastern Sierra. The first one will be January 30th. And then we'll be able to see exactly how we're doing on the eastern side of the Sierra. Also, last month, the Department of Water Resources also announced their initial state water project allocation, and that allocation was at 10%. So what it means to Southern California, we get water through Metropolitan Water District. That equates to approximately 200,000 acre-feet of water. So a very small amount of water. But we'll continue to provide updates to the board as the water year continues, and hopefully the water situation gets better. And then lastly, Board President, just want to say thank you for your support of the water system, also for your engagement and support in the water supply initiatives and giving us that push that we needed to keep things moving. I do appreciate it, and my staff appreciates all the support you've given us.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Azemo. And I know Aaron would like to say a few words.
You're not off the hook, Board President. Yeah. So I just in keeping with all the words that you heard from the heart of the employees, every one of them were coming from their heart of everything that you've done. I just want to take a minute and thank you for all your services that you've done prior to this role that you've played at the department, and the roles you're going to play in the future. And I am just honored that I just got to enjoy the last year of your service here, but I'm looking forward to all the work that we're going to do together as you move on to the next chapter of this. But I think for me, it's the fundamental ethics, the clarity of vision in this drowned world we live in, the way you gave voice to people that their voices were drowned, the support that you've given to the working class and bringing people up. Those are all core services and core values that speaks to my heart and many, many thousands of the employees here. So I just want to thank you for who you are, and had a great time working with you, and I'm going to miss you a lot.
Thank you. Right.
I have some comments of gratitude. Is it okay if I save them till the end to spread out the love? I don't want to break the rules of the agenda, so
We
looking
can
over at the
certainly
board
move those
secretary.
comments to the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Anything before we move to? Let's see, we have the introduction of motions for future consideration. I'm not aware of any motions at this point. Comments from our ratepayer I'm sorry. Oh, no, comments from the ratepayer advocate?
Yes. We wanted to thank you for all your service here. In particular, you allowed the Office of Public Accountability Ratepayer Advocate to become more effective, and by including us in closed session as well as open session advice during a critical time where we feel we were able to help further important goals at a crucial time. So we thank you very much for that, and I hope that will live on in the relationship with the office, but after we are both gone.
It's a board policy, so they'll have to change it by public vote.
We noted that at the time. I am tentatively retiring on April 6th after slightly more than 12 years of service in 2 5-year terms. And in terms of comments on specific items on today's agenda, we do have comments on item 4, which is the Eland project. I understand it may be held. So would you like me to make comments on that now, or?
It depends. What are your comments? That determines whether it will be held.
First, we do not oppose this amendment, but there are several policy issues that should be triggered for timely further action. The first involves having a project that fills remaining line capacity, which is near completion. The line is not yet complete. This forecloses for a time other options on this corridor, both supply and storage, and places constraints on some future large-scale state storage capacity purchases or investments, which may be better in the long run. DWP staff has looked at the economics surrounding this, and they believe their information supports going ahead now. The second is the renewable energy and storage procurement process needs review and modification. The OPA has been saying this since November 2012. At a minimum, the bidding should be based on a standard contract or contracts. The bidders could, of course, request deviations from the standards if essential for their project. But the time things spend in negotiation is not reasonable. An RFP to study this has been stalled now for 2 years, and we encourage that effort to go ahead to broadly study a revision to the renewable and storage procurement process. Third, ethics risks. The current city ethics standards, specifically embodied in Form CEC 55, that looks at who's involved on particular procurements and their principal subcontractors and their personnel, is based on one-time purchases, not multi-decade deals that change ownership multiple times. There should be an automatic requirement for transparent disclosure of the corporate and individual entities with material interests in these projects, updated with any change. Fourth, the original contracts on Eland have an unusual bankruptcy provision. The contracts are deemed terminated the day before bankruptcy, except for the large generation internet connection agreement. This is highly unusual. This may interfere with DWP's typical position in any bankruptcy proceeding should one occur. Now, DWP staff have reasons why this amendment is good enough now and needed for CEC compliance, and there may be more policy and specific issues to add if it is held.
Okay, thank you. And I know this was a late ad. Is this a matter that can be accommodated? The delay is a delay, something that can be accommodated by the department?
Yes, Aaron.
Yes, we can postpone this and clear all these questions up and then come back to our board next meeting.
Okay, perfect. Then that's noted. Thank you for that. And Dr. Pickle, the news of your retirement comes as, it inspires a congratulations, but also comes as a deep shock. Your service to this organization has been really without measure. So there will be a great shoes to fill. And I appreciate very much your service to the board and to the department during my tenure here. So thank you.
I'd like to
Thank you.
second those comments. Your shoes will be very difficult to fill. I know it'll be a really tough search, and just the expertise and analysis that you have brought to this role has really had a very important impact. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any neighborhood impact?
No community impact statements or formal positions were filed by any neighborhood councils on any of the items on today's agenda.
Terrific. We will then move to items recommended for approval, and we are going to defer item L4. So I need a motion for L1 through L3.
Motion to approve items L1 through L3.
Second.
Commissioner KATZ?
Aye.
Commissioner LEHRER? President McCLAIN-HILL?
Aye.
3 ayes, motion adopted.
Terrific, thank you. Management reports, I don't think there's nothing under management reports. Are there any questions regarding any filed items? Seeing none, we'll move to the adoption of the minutes. I need a motion for K1. Or a motion to adopt the minutes?
Motion to adopt the minutes.
Second.
Commissioner KATZ?
Aye.
Commissioner LEHRER? President McCLAIN-HILL?
Aye.
3 ayes, motion adopted.
All right, terrific. That is the last item of business on open session, so I will now go back to Commissioner KATZ.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could make a comment before we close. It's really hard to believe that this will be your last meeting presiding over us. So I just wanted to thank you for your tremendous leadership as our board president and as an extraordinarily dedicated and productive public servant to our city. The countless hours of your time and expertise that you've given this city and department really will have a lasting legacy. The comments today from Lane and Scope and Aspire and Pride, IBEW Local 18, UPTC program members and employees reflect that legacy in the community and in the department and the lives that you have touched. You've been a fierce advocate for women's empowerment and professional development, as we heard today with Leadership Summit and Career Expos. Although I'm newer to the board, during my time here, you've been a wonderful mentor and role model. You really build and raise up others, from supporting my work in biodiversity and access to nature, to supporting Commissioner NEEMAN Brady to help make her parental leave initiative a reality. And we heard how impactful that was today. You've truly gone above and beyond in your role as president. You're a leader who doesn't just talk the talk and very eloquently talks the talk. You walk the walk, especially with equity. So, we heard today about the Project Powerhouse initiative that you pioneered, and thanks to that initiative, DWP is facilitating building affordable housing by bearing costs and expediting developer projects. And under your leadership, DWP launched the most comprehensive effort in the city's history to help hundreds of thousands of financially challenged customers who've been burdened by mounting unpaid bills due to the impacts of COVID-19. The LA 100 steering committee that you spearheaded, obviously a project close to my heart with my passion as a Bruin and UCLA's involvement. It really has created, community engagement throughout the city, and this equity strategies empowered by equity program that is a roadmap to identify programs and policies that will ensure clean energy equity for all Angelenos. These are just a few examples, and it was amazing to hear work that you've done that I hadn't even known about today from all the speakers. So it's really because of your strategic vision and thoughtful and insightful leadership that DWP is providing a more innovative, equitable, and sustainable future for the customers we serve, and an example for utilities across the nation and beyond. I promise that we, your fellow board members, will work to carry that torch and continue to grow efforts in equity and all of these important initiatives. I hope that you're able to take a moment and pause and reflect on the amazing impact you've had here and take care of yourself. I know you're very good at taking care of others. Though knowing your work ethic, I'm sure you're going to dive right into the next role and continue to fight for justice and equity. I am really grateful for the time that we've served here together, and I want to thank you for all that you've done for the city of Los Angeles. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you. I just have in closing this meeting, just a few more additional remarks to make. So before I conclude the meeting, I wish to express my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to a number of women and men of our department who day after day, be it through times of calm or crisis, demonstrate your leadership. You brought your keenest minds to our never-ending search for solutions to emergent issues, embraced change and reform by upholding our core values, and your solid support. Steadfastly kept your focus on our city's future and our department's plans to get there, and did your utmost to represent the best that public service staff professionals and labor leaders have to offer on behalf of the people of Los Angeles. Because we divide things up around here, I'm going to start with the power system and just say thank you to Wendy Yancey, to Simon Zendau, Brian Wilbur and Andy Kendall, and Eric Mentog. He was my very first teacher on power. I'd like to acknowledge and thank Ensemble Collins, Evelyn Cortez Davis, and Brianna Lindsay for their tutelage and support, and Cynthia, who is and will, from my perspective, always be the finest CFO in the city of Los Angeles. Much appreciate your service. John Smith, Joe Brayovich, Julie Riley, and the entire legal team, I appreciate you. Joe Romalo, whose wise counsel has been invaluable over the course of my service, so thank you. I, of course, have already indicated and do appreciate very much the wisdom and the insight offered by both Fred Pickle and Camden Collins, so thank you. I do want to acknowledge the incredible work and vision of our executive leadership team writ large. And Aram, you are new, but I can't say enough about you. Thank you. And Marty, I appreciate your kind words, so thank you very much. Finally, to our board staff, Shantae and the entire team, thank you all so very much. To my forever friend, David Rahimian, who has made the policy work on behalf of this board possible. Thank you. Linda Ikegami, appreciate your efforts on behalf of the board and the department and the rigor with which you have undertaken your role and your job in our support. Just a couple more. I would be remiss were I not to thank our entire print shop and the guys at Reprographics. I have kept you busy, and I appreciate your rising to every occasion. Louis, thank you. Our AV team, Reggie Brewer, Jason, Ocean, Serena, thank you. We appreciate your documenting our efforts and your service at the board. Facilities, Jason Wu, Jensen, you know what you've done and why I so appreciate your service and your efforts. And to the entire department professional staff, it has really been my pleasure. With that, I will simply say it is time for Julie. We have no closed session agenda, correct?
Correct, we have no closed session items.
Agenda, so I am now able to adjourn this meeting. Thank you all very, very much. I appreciate your being here. Thank you. Thank you.